right, Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahushai Bahashim Akakudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. All right, that taught us this truth. And Shalom to the hopeful elect, Yakim and the Aqua scattered around the four corners of the planet Earth. All right, and I'm the brother Arak. All right, from GMS Dallas. And this is going to be a quick lesson through the Spirit. And I'll entitle it, Listen More and Say Less. All right, listen more and say less. And this is really just going to be a reiteration of, some things that we talked about in Saturday class. The elder Micah Allah, had went into, basically the importance of, watching the words that are coming out of your mouth. All right, and not talking too much. All right, and this is gonna be a quick one. I just wanted to get a couple precepts, but I'll start by quoting, the book of Sirach. When you read the book of Sirach, the 13th chapter, all right, it talks about. I want to say around chapter 13, around verse 12. It says, "Observe and take good heed, okay, for thou walkest in peril of thy overthrowing." All right. Observe and take good heed, for thou walkest in peril of thy overthrowing. Meaning what? Right? Meaning that basically, okay, if you're an Israelite, let's just start with that. If you're an Israelite, if you're a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American, all right, the scope, all right, is already on you. Okay, you already have a bullseye on your back as it is. All right, and if you don't understand that, just look at what's going on, all right, in D.C., look at what's going on in America, look at what Trump is doing. All right, you so-called Negroes and Latinos and Native Americans have been made the scapegoat, all right, and the problem child of everything that's wrong, okay, with America, which is bullshit, it's bullshit. All right, now our people are wicked. Okay, Isaiah, the first chapter talks about that. Our people are gone, man. Our people are wicked. Yes. Okay, but our people are also powerless. All right, our people are powerless. We're in captivity. Okay, so a majority of the blame when it comes to, all right, the mismanagement of the planet Earth, it falls upon Esau, Edom. All right, Job 9 and 24, the earth is given unto the hands of the wicked. Okay, but that's neither here or there. All right, the point is, all right, just being an Israelite, being a so-called black man, you already have a bullseye on your back. Okay, but if you understand this truth, if you're a man of the Lord, all right, if you're a part of GMS or a part of an affiliate or a part of any camp, all right, in which you're preaching the Bible, proclaiming the truth about who the true Israelites are in the Bible, you have a bullseye, all right in the middle of your forehead, man. All right, and best believe they're agents. All right, they're undercover police. All right, they're agents, man, everywhere. All right, and it may be people it may be people you know, it may be people you don't know. Right, private investigators, we don't fucking know, man. All right, we don't know, but we do know that the Lord told us to be as wise as a serpent and as harmless as a dove, and there's a reason why the Lord told us that. Okay. And as we continue on in prophecy, we're going to start seeing, okay, Esau come down. All right. And as Esau comes down, okay, you're going to have a lot of situations to where it's going to be the people around you, the people that know you, all right, that are going to be coming up against you. Okay. And the main thing they're going to be using is your words, the things that you say, the things that you talk about. All right. When you're at work. Okay, when you're at the grocery store, wherever you may be, okay, it's better just to listen more, man, and say less. All right, and that's the title of the video. All right, so I'm going to get a couple precepts. This is James chapter 3, all right, in verse 5. It says, "Even so, the tongue is a little member and boasteth great things." But matter of fact, let me start up a little bit on this. This is James chapter 3 and verse 2. It says, "For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in a word, the same is a perfect man, and able also to bridle the whole body." All right. So if you're a man, okay, that has discipline over his words, okay, when he talks about things, when he doesn't talk about things, all right, when to be quiet, when not to be quiet, all right, that's a very important attribute in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's a part of being perfect. All right, and isn't that what the Lord says? In the book of, in the Gospels, right? Be ye perfect as your Father is perfect. Okay, this is a part of that. Okay, this is James 3:2. It says, "For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man, and able also to bridle the whole body." All right, but let me jump down verse 5. It says, "Even so, the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth." All right, so your tongue, all right, your tongue, man, which is what you use to form words and speak. All right, you can't even see your tongue when your mouth is closed. All right, and in comparison to the rest of your body, your tongue is small. Okay, and there's a reason why the Lord made it that way, man. Like they say in the world, you've been given two eyes, 2 ears, all right, and 1 mouth. All right, 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 mouth, man. And there's a reason for that. The Lord ain't just do that for a reason. Okay, let me read this again. It says, "Even so the tongue," James 3:5, "even so the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great matter a little fire kindleth." All right, and words, the scriptures talk about, I want to say it's in Proverbs, okay, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Okay, so words are not just words. All right, words mean things. All right, words cause things to happen. All right, in the physical, all right, but also in the spiritual. Okay, that's why it's likened unto fire. All right, and if you've been around fire, you understand that fire can be very useful. All right, in certain situations, right? Fire can be a fuel. It can be a light. Right? It can even be a cleansing agent. All right, but if fire is not maintained and contained, all right, attentively, fire can be very dangerous. All right, and fire can spread, okay, to the point to where it's uncontrollable. All right, so when we're speaking, okay, the scriptures liken it under fire, man. All right, so you want to be very mindful, okay, about the things that you're letting out of your mouth, because you're not going to be able to put the cat back in the bag, man. You're not going to be able to get the horse, back in the stall. Okay, once you say something and you put it out there, okay, it's out there. All right, so let me read that again. It says, James 3:5, it says, "Even so the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth, and the tongue is a fire, and a world of iniquity." All right, because you can find yourself in some crazy ass situations just over some shit that you said, and a lot of times, just speaking as a man, a lot of times you'll say something and it's out of either emotion or it's out of impulsivity, because when you're cool, calm, and collected, okay, it's relatively, easy. It's easier, all right, to control your mouth. All right, but when you're pissed off, all right, when you're feeling some type of way about something, that's typically, okay, when it becomes harder, all right, to keep your mouth shut. Okay, and that's a part of the discipline. That's a part of this word, this ministry. All right, learning how to keep your mouth closed, man. All right, and it's going to be a defense. Scriptures say, wisdom is a defense, man. All right, so there's a reason why, these lessons are going out. These lessons are going to save some brothers, man. This is James 3:6. It says, "And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. so is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. All right. Let me read that again. It says, "And the tongue is a fire in a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the body, and setteth on fire the course of nature." Right? Because another thing too is this thing is bigger than any one of us. So the things that we talk about, all right, we represent, GMS. We represent a body. All right, we represent the brothers. Okay, so the things that come out your mouth it's not just about you anymore when you come into this truth. The things that you say, all right, and the things that you do is a reflection of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, all right, and the ministry as a whole. Okay, so that's another thing to keep in mind as well. All right, now I want to get this in Matthew chapter 15. All right, this is Matthew chapter 15 and verse 10. It says, "And he called the multitude and said unto them, Hear and understand." Okay, hear and understand. Okay, because it's not enough to just hear. Okay, not enough to just hear. You got a lot of people that hear these videos. All right, they hear brothers preaching on the highways and byways. All right, and it may be something that they agree with. It may be something that they actually like. Okay, but it's one thing to hear and it's another thing to understand. All right, and with understanding comes application. Okay, this is Matthew chapter 15 and verse 11. It says, "Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth defileth a man." Okay, so again, all right, we know that the food is fucked up, right? We know that the food is defiled, all right, but that's not really what defiles you. Okay, that defiles your body. Okay, that defiles your body. Okay, but the things that come out of your mouth, okay, defile the spirit, man. All right, and as we brought out yesterday, all right, I want to say in Matthew 12, 36 and 37, okay, by thy words shall a man be justified, and by thy words shall a man be condemned. Okay, so it's really best in these times, all right, to listen more and to say less, man. All right, don't be a chatty Cathy. All right, don't be a motor mouth, man. Just want to run your mouth all goddamn day. All right, it's best in these times, all right, to get into that I am legend spirit, man. Will Smith, in that movie, and if you watch that movie, there were very little words in that movie. I could imagine the script. I don't know the director that wrote that movie, but that movie was a very solemn, a very serious movie. Wasn't a lot of talking, man. A lot of observation, all right, a lot of attentiveness on his end, okay, and not a lot of talking, okay. So I just wanted to make that point, man. Lord's willing, this lesson was edifying. With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors again to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. Rule well, teach well. Shalom.